is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the Wednesday podcast, talking superpower. Like you're talking actual human superpowers?
Science can't explain how these people have these powers. Now that is called a superpower.
Well, Tommy can...
Here we go.
That's not a wristwatch. Oh, now hang on a minute.
What are you going to say?
Yeah,
Make his own windsurfer.
Oh, he can make brooms disappear.
No, that is... that is an amazing trick though, Tom.
Yeah.
It's funny how you walk afterwards, but it is...
Just save it for the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Do you know what though, Fitz? We talk about life hacks on the show, and quite often those hacks are almost creative ways to do one thing better. This is a little bit different. So these are small changes to make you drastically happier. So these are the things that you can implement into your life, which can just make life a little bit more easier.
Okay.
And I reckon I need to adopt a couple here.
Well, I mean, the obvious ones are finding love and stuff like that. And I mean, that's hard to do, mate. You know? Like, you just can't go out and find that.
2024, it's moving pretty quick, mate. We're living in a high-paced world. Yeah. You know, got this to do, got that to do, got to be on this, got to be on that. You know what I'm talking about? Here they're saying one of the great changes you can do is just slow down. Stop for a minute and slow down. It doesn't mean you're dying, but just, do you know what? You're going to get your work done. You're going to do what you normally do in a day.
Yeah, but
just take a breath and slow down.
Yeah, but see, that's easy to say, but when you rock up to work and they go, mate, you've got to complete this today.
Yeah.
It can be quite stressful.
They say that when you rush around mentally, when you're in your head, when you think you've got to get things done, that creates expectation. Yeah. So you need to remove the expectation so that your mind can sort of just kick into a bit of a neutral gear and just float through the day. And they said at the end of the day, by 5 o'clock, you're still going to get paid. Whether you rush through the day or not, you're still going to get paid when it comes around to the day.
Yeah, fair.
You know?
You're just not doing your job properly.
No,
but
you're
you
not.
will still get paid.
You won't last, unfortunately, and you'll become just sort of waste on the side. You know, you go back to your exercises. We've been talking about saunas and cold plunge, all of that. Make sure that your walk is a beautiful time of the day. You know, you don't have to get up. I love this article. You don't have to get up before the sun and get out there and be part of a 5 a.m. club that exercises to prove that you beat everybody else to the starting gun, right? You can just get up when you want to get up and then go for a walk. They even advise, in terms of slowing down, when you've got kids and a family at home, put some earmuffs on. Wander around the house with a set of headphones or earmuffs on.
Okay, so sleep in, go for a long walk, and go slow at work. I don't think that you're very productive at the moment, mate.
Meditation.
Okay.
Bring up meditation.
When have I got time to do that?
Well, when you are slowing down. Now that you've slowed down, you're still getting paid, mate. On the 15th of each month, it's going to come through. There'll be a meal on the table. You might take time during the day to go and meditate. I mean, you have a look at smokers, right? There's still a few of them out there, and if you added up all the time they take going out for a bloody Larry Lungbuster...
Well, that's...
Right?
That's their meditation. They're focusing on their breathing.
Yeah, they are.
Suck that nicotine in.
Feel the nicotine hit and breathe out. So if you added up all that time and then built it into your meditation, you'd get a good 20 minutes of meditation done during the day.
Okay.
These are the simple things. Don't make commitments. Don't say, yes, we'll do that on the weekend. Make those calls on a Friday and see how you really feel.
Oh, God.
Is this quitting life?
Geez,
Is this called retirement?
Wippa's changed completely. He's been an hour late for work because he's gone for a walk and slept in.
Oh, the other one. Hang on a minute. When you're doing that, after you've meditated, they say your senses are heightened because you're in a nicer state, and therefore they recommend it's the perfect time for baking. So, Kate Ritchie, if you want to make your bread at home, right, make sure you've done it after meditation when your senses are relax, but also heightened and ready to absorb the world.
I've written all that down.
Oh, yeah.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Do you have a superpower? 13 24 10 if you think you have a bit of a gift, where you think you have an ability that really stands above the average level in the community. There are 7 humans with real-life superpowers that scientists can't explain.
Do you want me to ring in, or do you?
No,
just
you can have a
stay
rest.
Here?
What would you go
What's
for? What would your
yours?
superpower
Well,
be?
I've heard those amazing stories when you hear that someone's trapped under a car or a tractor of people that just go over and can lift it up.
Oh, power. Like, Superman
strength.
style.
Well, in that situation, I'd love to be in that situation, just to go, okay,
What, under the car?
This is my, yeah.
Or the
I'll
hero.
put my hand up to be under the car if you want. Kate! It's on my chest, I can hardly breathe.
and then
Use your
Kate comes up.
strength.
And what do
And
I
lifts
do?
it.
No, Kate, put down your coffee, please. I don't have much time.
I had my nails done yesterday. I can't get involved.
I've got an amazing ability to pick to pick the gender and the age of golden retriever dogs. It's
I thought
quite
you were gonna
extraordinary.
say people's babies. What do you mean? You just
So-
look in the vicinity of
No.
the area, although they are very fluffy.
No,
it's sometimes
What's it-
hard.
I'll say to Lisa, watch this. We'll be at a cafe or something, and then I'll go over and I'll say, hey mate, can I ask, is your dog a male and 3 years old? And he goes, how did you do that? And I say, that's a superpower that scientists can't explain.
It's quite easy to do, isn't it?
Not
I
really.
mean, you basically have to pick a number between 1 to 12 because that's their lifespan.
And see if his balls are hanging out the back.
Well, the older...
And 50-50 chance if it's a man or a woman, or sorry, a boy or a girl. I mean, poor Lisa. Can you imagine if you had a husband who every time you went for breakfast was saying, hey, honey, check this
What's this?
superpower skill out.
Are you turned on now because you've married a special kind of guy? These superpowers, though, I mean, this guy's in India. He is known as a breatharian monk. So he has lived without food and water for a whopping 76 years.
This is a load of crap.
It is.
He said he's got a hole in the top of his mouth that water goes through.
What?
There were two
so he
tests.
does have water.
No, that's saliva. He doesn't actually drink. There were 2 observations carried out. One was in 2003, so he was in a glass box for 10 days and he didn't have any food or water. And then in 2010, they did it again for 15 days and he was fine, as normal. He just feeds on air.
This is a complete load of crap.
They're going to talk about
Is this
Wim
on
Hof.
YouTube? Is this
No.
the bubble on YouTube?
This is legitimate. Wim Hof, who we know, he's known as the Iceman. In 2000, he went 44 minutes with skin-on-ice contact. Many would freeze or possibly kill a human, but not Wim Hof.
Is Wim Hof the breathing guy? The technique?
Yeah, with the beard,
Wim Hof is Wim Hof you would have loved to have been on the Titanic and in the water.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if
And he
he
went,
was
"Watch
with
this."
Rose, he would have just gone, okay, settle down, breathe through your nose and out through your mouth.
Would have been a long ending to the movie, wouldn't it? Because,
Apparently,
Wim Hof.
Is it Tommy, can you check
Wim
this?
Hof.
Apparently there's someone that survived in the water and the only reason they did is because they were completely drunk when the Titanic went down.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And-
Vodka doesn't freeze.
So when you... Yeah, well, this is the thing. You know, when you're at that level of drunkenness, that you just
relaxed.
you don't know what you are doing. You don't feel anything. You don't feel any pain.
But
Is
you
that
also
true, Tom?
drown. I mean, if you're that drunk, you could drown in the bath.
Not if you're hanging onto a door.
Yeah, I believe so. He was a baker. And he was back at work within days.
You're kidding?
Because he, as you say, Fitz, he was
hammered.
completely
He was
sozzled.
hammered.
He doesn't remember the Titanic going down. Just remembers
Yeah, he
waking
had-
up
What a
thinking...
shame, and not being able to retell the story.
It was the warming sensation of the brandy that he had consumed.
God, he must have been smashed.
Yeah,
Warmed his skin.
Sausage rolls in his pocket as well.
Yeah,
after
he was ready
coming
to
out of the
go.
bakery.
What about this one? This girl's name is Natasha. She's 37. She's Russian. She can see inside people's bodies. So she has got X-ray eyes. So she's been on TV before and she's done things like have people stand in front of her and say, oh, you've got an issue with your liver. It's not functioning properly. Or you've got a small hairline fracture in your ankle. I can see it from here.
Give me a break.
Wow, that is amazing.
She's a human X-ray.
Yes, she is. Another guy, he's 44. He's known as Rubber Boy. He's the most flexible person in the world. Have you seen that guy? And
Can we get Rubber Boy over to Australia? Throw him against a wall?
Google Rubber Boy. What about the guy who's 49 and he can have a look? He's got the most photographic memory in the history of people found with memories like this. He can look at a landscape or a street line and then draw it to the detail, to the finest of detail. Wow.
I believe that one a little more than the others.
Derek in Moorebank. Tell us about someone who has a special power, Derek.
Morning, boys. Morning, Kate.
Hi.
So, my brother, he's got these gifts that if he sees a pregnant lady, might not know them, just sees them, he'll turn up and say to them, oh, so when are you having your little boy or when are you having your little girl? And they'll say, oh, how do you know that? And he just says, I'll just look at you. He knows, and he's always correct.
Women would love that.
Yeah, I don't think pregnant women always like strange men wandering up to them. Does he reach out and rub their tummy as well?
I'd love to know.
Normally, like, when he's at his shop and the customers come in and they're pregnant, that's how he sort of, in conversation at the counter.
But he probably never gets a result, Derek. If he doesn't know the girl, she's not wandering back in to say, hey, you were right.
Yeah, but a lot of people know what they're having these days.
Most people know, yeah.
Good call.
So usually, because they've already found out the gender, then that's why they go, oh, how'd you know?
Derek, that's amazing. Great story, Des.
Let's go from Derek to Eric in Liverpool. You have a very special superpower, Eric.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Great. Really good.
Good, Derek.
Bit of a party trick, but I don't do it to absolutely everyone, but I can pretty accurately guess a girl's bra size.
Okay.
Eric, okay, have a go.
Can we do this on air? What about
No, I need to see you in person.
what about a man, Derek? If you look at a photo of me, do I look like a 36B or...
You're not
I reckon you're maybe 36B or 34C.
Eric, is this a technique to pick up the opposite sex?
No, none of them are ever impressed.
Okay, right.
No. Hey, have you got a moment? We've never met, but I'm Eric, and I reckon you're a 12C. What a pickup line. Good luck out there, Eric.
Yeah.
We should get Eric and Wippa and have a couple of Labradors and a couple of women.
Oh, I know. I'd watch that video.
All right.
Beck in Rouse Hills, give us a call. Beck, tell us about your mum.
Hi, morning. So my mum, she has these, what is it called? Photographic memory of numbers. So say you tell her a number today, for any store or a hospital or whatever, or if she'll just read it, she will remember that number in about 10, 20 years' time.
Wow.
Are you serious?
So you've quizzed her on certain days, written it down, and then gone back and asked Mum about it?
Yeah, so we lost a cow a little while ago. It escaped, and it was actually one of my friends, and she knew the number for that cow tag, like 10 years' time. So, yeah.
Oh, I guess it's like remembering that you know the phone number of your childhood home kind of thing.
Yeah. That'll be great. And, Beck, I suppose you don't even want to think about it, but when she's a lot older and she passes away and Beck, she remembers, Beck, we still owe, unfortunately, we owe $400,000 on the house that you're going to...
Oh, no.
How do you remember that number, Mum? That is unbelievable. Damn. Caroline in Gladesville, tell us about your husband.
We actually talked about this.
Hey, Caroline, can you take a step to the left? You're just cutting out a little bit there.
Any better now?
Oh, yeah, go. Try again, Caroline. You're a bit muffled there.
Your superpower is not your phone line.
That's it, Caroline. We've got you.
You got me. Okay.
Yeah.
So my superpower is my husband. He basically can find a car park anywhere that we go. You rock up to Bondi Junction when it's busy, he can find one. You rock up to a concert, he can find one. Anywhere in the world. We've gone abroad, and there will be a car park place will just literally appear just as we're trying to find somewhere to park in. Italy, it happens.
It's
So it
happened in the States.
appears, does it? So it's
everywhere.
not like he says, I've got a feeling that just around the corner on the left there's going to be the perfect spot for us.
Nah, we'll be driving down the road and we'll go, we'll be looking for something to park around here, and literally a car will pull out
Yeah.
Wow.
within
I
a
have
couple
that.
of minutes in front of
No,
us.
you don't.
No, I do. I do. On holidays, my sister and all of my friends like to have me in the car because all of my friends, 1, 2, 4, and I will always get a park. I
what
can
do
get
you-
a park. It was like when I got a park at Watergoes that day, or I can go down to a crowded beach,
No, you
and it will
parked
just be
there
there.
because the surfy
No.
guy was hot in the van.
No, I did. Shush up, mate. And I still think about that. I still think about not
You
taking
loved
down
him.
the number off the
Are you the,
car.
the Moses of Carpark?
No, I am, because I picked it up from my girlfriend Julie. And every time you drive, and when you go into the car park and you want to get a park,
Yeah.
we all say it in the car. We always go, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out.
Out of context. This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Unfortunate finds. Father of two, Rod Maroney, he's over from the States with his missus, and they're walking around Pitt Street and George Street here in Sydney and having a bit of a shop. Now, the light rail, I love the light rail. It's been amazing since it's been finished. But there are, you know what, I used to walk through the city quite a bit, and there's quite a few people that do have their AirPods in and they're on their phones and they can't hear the light rail coming. Now, those light rail horns are really, really loud, so it gives you a real big boost. But I tell you what, this is not a story about the light rail. This is a story about an e-bike. So Rod was with his wife. They're walking across the tracks, the light rail tracks on George Street, when an e-bike came out of nowhere and has cleaned Rod up.
Oh, poor Rod.
Yeah, he's an aerospace engineer. He's lucky to be alive. He had to be put into a coma, Whip.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know if you can see, but that's his head there. That's going to be a permanent bump on his
shivers.
head.
Half the side of his... It's like his head is ballooned on one side of the skull.
So while he's in hospital in St Vincent's Hospital, his wife went back to pick up something from their Airbnb that they're staying at here in Sydney, and she found an $86 fine in the letterbox from the cops stating that Rod had moved into the rider's path. And he had an $86 fine for doing that without looking.
So the bike didn't hit Rod. Rod hit the bike.
Rod hit the bike. So she was absolutely shattered by this.
Was Rod walking in a bike lane?
No.
Like, is there a designated bike lane or anything?
No, and then she did some investigations. Luckily, she had a friend here in Sydney who was a lawyer, and the lawyer said this is ridiculous. And they found out that e-bikes and bicycles are actually not allowed to be ridden on the footpath in George Street. So they contested the fine and they got off.
So I'm trying to work out, if you are riding any bike, be it an e-bike or be it just your standard deadly treadly, you're not meant to be on the footpath. You're meant to be on the road, aren't you?
Well, I don't know through
Is that the
city.
general idea?
I don't think you can ride it. Well, it says here that you're not allowed to ride it on the light rail tracks through the city. So where would you ride it? You'd have
Well,
to...
the footpath is too crowded, so you can't weave throughout the crowd.
You just couldn't do George Street. You'll have to go other streets through Hyde Park and stuff like that.
I mean, you're the man that's done a bit of work on his bike around town. You, unfortunately, just near the Opera House, had a bit of a fall in front of a crowd of people.
I had some major falls. You know, my old man, Dad rode his...
no.
Remember he rode his bike into a concrete wall as well? He was enjoying the view.
And that wall was
went
fined
straight off.
$86.
Unfortunate fines. How's this one as well? But apparently Byron's brought in a fine as well after a guy nearly died. And the locals would have hated this as well. It's called the hipster fine. $1,100 now. If you go out and surf without a leg rope on, you can be fined up to $1,100 after a local resident, nearly bled out on the beach after a surfer from overseas didn't have a leg rope on, lost his board, went over the wave, and that board hit another surfer, sliced him open in the groin area, and he nearly bled out on the beach.
Oh, my God. That's the hipster fine, is it?
That's
So
the
nothing to
hipster
do
fine.
with deodorant and dreadlocks.
So if you don't wear your leg rope in Byron, you can be fined up to $1,100. And if you dress like a hipster as well, you can be fined as well. which unfortunately is 90% of the population.
Makes me want to quit surfing. It's so frustrating.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, are you okay, mate?
I just had a bit of toast during Jack Harlow, and a couple of crumbs have just slid down the back of my throat. I'm back. I'm okay, guys. You don't need to call an ambulance. I'm going to be fine.
Well, you can call us. Vanessa in Turramurra has. What did you want to talk about, Ness?
I just wanted to talk about ScoMo retiring. I thought that was rather interesting.
Who?
Well,
ScoMo.
I didn't really follow it. I didn't really follow the headline. I don't know what the announcement was about. Did they say what he was going to do?
I didn't hear that, but I'd be really interested to see which private enterprise, which corporate entity
Well, he's already
take a cushy job at.
He's already confirmed.
Oh, what is it?
him?
What's he doing?
So overnight, he's got 2 jobs lined up. Yeah. He's taking on a new role as vice chair of a security firm, which is headed up by a former Trump advisor.
Wow.
And then he's also going to become a strategic advisor for an asset management firm.
Of course.
Okay. Nothing in marketing, Em? I mean, we know that was his background. Where the bloody hell are you?
Look, he might bring some of that in sort of as an offshoot. I'm sure, use all of your skills.
So the major skills when you become a Prime Minister or if you're a politician that's been in the game for a long time, Em, I think what they do, you get jobs that basically... Can't you get someone's foot in the door to the government? Like, you just go, oh, okay, you want to speak to this minister, I can set that up for you. Or they use you as a networking sort of
when
pig,
you're the
don't they?
Prime Minister, you can get your foot in any door you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ScoMo, I mean, he had a long career in politics. I thought he was just starting to hit his straps, actually.
Well,
his popularity was just about to take off,
in the news yesterday, I was waiting for the announcement, and Tommy, it had been rumoured throughout the network that he was going to do a Nova Red Room on the ukulele.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah. How good.
Yep.
Well, see, can I also just say this? I'll say this. He was also... Well, I'm going to be honest here. We tried to get the backyard cricket game at Kirribilli House for, I reckon, around about 6 or 7 years. So Julia Gillard wouldn't let us do it.
No.
Kevin Rudd wouldn't let us do it.
No.
Tony Abbott wouldn't let us do it. Right? And ScoMo was the one that said, this is a great idea. You guys are raising there's some money here for a great charity. And he said, why don't we do it? And since then, Albo loves it now as well. And I think we're locked in for every year. So we do have to thank Scott Morrison for that.
It was a great tradition, a great day, and we'll do it again in November.
Well done. Thanks for your call, Ness. Daniel in Campbelltown. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel.
Damn.
Not there. All right, let's go to Dave now in Ryde. What do you want to talk about, Dave?
Hey, fellas. Mate, to be honest, I'm just ringing to try and get some tickets for Taylor and Tokyo for my goddaughter.
Yeah, he's not mucking around.
He's honest. Yeah, well, you're in the running, Dave. We could be calling you back this... Well, I think is it going to be Thursday night or Friday night, Tommy?
I think it'll actually be Monday.
Oh, it's
Monday,
with Ricky Lee, Tim and Joel.
Okay, you get on air, you go into the running. Would you would take your goddaughter, or would someone else take her, Dave?
Mate, to be honest, she's not really I'm not really a big fan type thing, and my kids aren't either, so it'd probably just be goddaughter, and I'd let me mate take her.
Dave, if it was the perfect competition that fitted Dave, who would you like to see live in Tokyo? Would it be Chisel, mate, or...?
Oh, mate, I went and saw Coldplay in WA. I'd probably go see them again.
Yeah, well,
how good is that?
Well, they're coming back. Are you going to go to the Sydney show?
Definitely got tickets for them again.
Well done, Dave. Well done. Well, you're in the running, mate.
Well.
Congratulations, along with Vanessa. Daniel in Campbelltown, you're in the running for Taylor in Tokyo as well. But what did you want to chat about this morning, Dan?
Hey, mate, I wanted to talk about Wippa's surprise yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
The sumo.
Yeah, the sumo, mate. I watched it on Instagram. Pretty funny.
Is it, Dan? Pretty funny for you, is it? Oh, that's good. I'm glad you had a laugh.
But maybe we should try and win something that, play something that you'd actually win.
Right.
Me and you. So, maybe a hot dog eating contest or
Gets better
go
and
to
better.
a star buffet and have all you can eat and do stuff like that.
You know, I thought yesterday was an emotional win because I looked at the photos and the footage afterwards and I thought, I've never looked smaller. I've never looked thinner. This guy was huge. He was sweaty.
He was huge.
And I don't think, to be honest, I don't think he believes in the old Brute 33. I'm not sure he's a huge fan of the deodorant. But that doesn't matter.
Tommy, what was the name of the guy that Wippa did an eating contest with? Because he has now gone on to be one of the greatest
I think
eaters.
his name's Jimmy, isn't it?
Yeah,
James
Jimmy.
that came in and did the dumpling challenge.
Yeah, and Whip, you were gone after about 23 dumplings, which we were quite disappointed with. But he went on to win a world title.
Yeah, he's ranked the number one eater, Jay Webby on Instagram.
Jay Webby, what's he been eating lately, Tommy? Has he moved on to 5 kilo hamburgers?
Well, most recently, he's eaten a bowl of rice.
How big was it? How big?
That's classic.
I think it might have been a free feed that he got.
Okay, well, that's a bit boring.
He's over in Dubai at the moment, eating everything there.
God, isn't that amazing?
Do you know what we should do, Fitz? We were talking about it yesterday. The Chico roll isn't celebrated enough. Let's get him back in and I'll take him on in a Chico roll. Chico roll challenge.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I've been doing a bit of research on smoking and I have found out, guys, that it's detrimental to your health.
You're kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, they should have mentioned this earlier.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
What was that movie that came out not that long ago? It was about a guy trying to promote smoking. Remember that film?
Thank you for smoking.
Thank you for smoking. So he worked for a tobacco company and his job was to sell in cigarettes to people. They go, this is good, this is great, you got to relax. This is... Anyway,
Do you know
funny
what?
film.
It's funny, though, because... You know what? Well, there's a lot of things. Alcohol is detrimental to your health, but we seem to celebrate it. You know, our culture here in Australia and the government get behind it and make a lot of money with their taxes and that as well. And smoking still... If smoking's that bad, you would think the government would look after their people, wouldn't they, and stop it?
Doesn't the government make over $20 a packet?
Yeah, I know.
The government?
I think a packet's $135 a packet now these days.
It is 100, yep.
We've had some great calls over the years about where you've seen someone having a smoke. 13 24 10. I'd love for you to get involved as well. Here's some of the calls that we've had.
I'd head down to the BMX track and just before my first lap, I'd light a dart and stick it in my mouth and do a lap of the track.
My mother-in-law squashed herself into the cubby house in the pouring rain because I wouldn't let her smoke in the house.
I used to work with a bloke who would drill for a bit of metal and stand on a 6-foot ladder while rolling a rollie one-handed. On the M4. He was on his motorbike. He had one of those helmets that could fold up and he'd half finished one.
On a motorbike.
Jeez.
It's amazing. We spoke about this guy last year, Uncle Chen. He was the guy in China who ran a marathon smoking the whole way. 42 kilometres, and he did it in 3 hours and 33 minutes. Now, I'm not joking. That is fast.
You're trying to kill yourself, is what you're doing right there.
That is like the photos. That's him. He had a minder with him as well that was passing him cigarettes, and he did it the whole way. And we were just saying this effort is unbelievable. I've got an update for you. Uncle Chen yesterday was disqualified from the marathon.
Why?
Because it says here, it states they reckon that in the rules it says that you're not allowed to smoke on the track. They've just added that.
Awesome. Is a nicotine in any way a performance-enhancing drug?
No.
Because Warnie would have had a huge issue and a little bit more than the diuretics.
Yeah, but I mean, you could argue with marijuana as well.
Yeah.
This is what, when people are caught with marijuana in their system, I tell you what, it's not performance enhancing.
It depends if you're playing PlayStation. Do you know, for this guy, I wonder if he trains with a cigarette as well. So for him to have a smoke during the main event would just be part of his life, wouldn't it?
But if you're darting for 3 hours and 33 minutes while breathing heavily, how are your head spins?
I know. I got a challenge for him. His next event should be the English Channel. I want to see him do backstroke with a cigarette in his mouth.
That's a good effort.
All the way.
Oh, you've done a smoking. Well done.
Thanks, Jet.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
You guys are going to love this, okay? And if you thought I was just bringing your average old pet story to the table, then you were wrong. The headline is Whisker Watch.
What?
Oh, that would be a great segment, Tom.
Around my bikini line?
I thought, I just go with Whisker Watch, Kate, because the boys aren't going to be interested in a story about pets and cameras. But if I say Whisker Watch, maybe they'll.
Yep, I'm on.
Didn't an AFL footballer change his name to Whiskers for a week? Gary Hocking?
Hocking, for Geelong.
Their major sponsor at Geelong for a year, Kate, was Whiskers. And I don't know how they got this over the line, Whiskers. But they said, look, we would love for one of your players to change his name to Whiskers for a week.
Officially.
Yeah, so he played. I think it was in the AFL record that week. He was down as Gary Whiskers.
So the commentary team had to commentate and say Whiskers Hocking with the ball now on the back line. Whiskers Hocking? What a terrible idea.
Okay, moving on from
Tell
Whisker
us about
Watch.
your whiskers.
No. I want to talk about spying. And yes, this story's about pets, but if you've got a camera that helps you spy on something else and it's working quite well for you, get involved. 13 24 10. I've never had a pet camera at home to look after Annie, the dog. I did consider it because she's developed a bit of a bark, and I think she's a bit naughtier at home without me being there than she used to be. So I'm thinking maybe I put in the camera. I just thought putting in a camera to watch the pet was a little bit excessive, but it turns out, thanks to the results from this survey, guys, there was over 1,000 respondents to this survey. 570 of them are pet owners, and apparently 1 in 5 people in Australia, so 22%, they spy on their pets. That means that like 1.5 million pet households have pet cameras in their house watching the cat. Now, that's not just to catch them doing naughty things during the day. Yeah. It's also to help with separation anxiety.
For the cat?
Yeah, not only for the cat. Could be the dog. I don't think cats get separation anxiety. They can't wait for you to leave in the morning.
Well, no, you can talk to your dog or your cat now. This is the thing, through these cameras, you get on your phone.
Puss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just me, Puss.
Now, when you go, Annie,
Well, yeah.
come on, calm down, darling.
It is a calming voice, and it's the best way, Kate. Beastie's having a bit of anxiety at the moment when we leave the house. So then we're doing, actually, this pet camera would be perfect, because then you can talk to him as we leave the house, but we're doing the whole leave the house, come back 5 minutes later, then leave that, don't look at him, leave the house again, come back 10 minutes later, don't look at him, then leave the house, come back 15 minutes later. So
big day.
Then he in one day he picked up, well, they'll keep coming back. I don't need to bark, I don't need to whine.
Yeah.
They will be coming back.
It's like controlled crying almost, isn't it?
Then I had to do it with BJ, which was hard.
BJ?
I did walk back
Don't
in.
look at
I
her.
didn't look at her. It was actually 2 a.m. in the morning. Didn't look at her. I went out again.
Yeah.
Got home at 3 a.m.
He said he's just going for one. He's always lied about that.
Yeah. And then he installed a camera. But imagine how confusing it must be for a dog. And for one, to think that you need to check on your dog at home and go, oh, I wonder what Fido's up to. But then for you to talk to the cat or the dog down the camera and during your lunch break at work, it's a bit sad, isn't it? Hi, Coco. Coco, can you see me? Coco.
Oh, yeah, but...
And the cat's just on the mat going, what is this rubbish?
Look, I do also think that people with cameras get highly obsessed.
Yeah, they do.
Don't you think? I mean, I've known people that have put cameras in that if there's a sensor or something alerts them that someone's been at the front door.
Yeah. I get a bit like that.
But seriously, aren't there enough things going on in your day for you to be focused on what's happening on the doorstep, or someone's rung the doorbell, or like my brother used to get upset that someone would park in front of his house.
Yeah. Okay.
So he put a camera up.
I don't know if he has cameras. I don't know.
You're dobbing him in. James has given us a call from Kashula. Where's the hidden camera, Jim?
Mate, it's not me. I'm dobbing my work colleague in. He's got 3 cameras displayed in his house. One in the bedroom, one in the lounge room, one at the front. When the wife goes for... It's just to spy on his wife. When his wife goes for a run, if she goes for a run to the left-hand side at 10 o'clock, he rings her up and says, how come you're not going for a run on the right-hand side?
Oh, see, that's too much for me.
That's complete control freak.
Yes, isn't it?
And the worst thing about it is that it's ironic because he goes out and does all the dirty business on the side.
Okay. See, James, I feel like you need to say something to her. That's horrible.
Oh, I don't know if he should get involved.
Yeah.
I don't know if James should
I'd
get
stay
involved.
out of that. Do you know, I walked through a house the other day and they had internal cameras, and I was just thinking, why do you have... Because we have security cameras at home on the outside. Why have you got security cameras inside? Like, what would you possibly need to be doing to... what are you checking on? I mean, I understand you, Kate, because Annie often chews through the crotch of your underwear, so you want to be able to stop her mid-munch.
And I can sell those videos on the internet.
Annie strikes again.
And no, I think some people do it for if they have help at home.
Yes.
Maybe.
Nanny cam.
Nanny cam.
But also security as well. If there's movement in the house...
But I don't think you have to record exactly what's going on. You can have a sensor so that if anyone, if there's a random person in the house, someone's stealing your TV, then that makes sense. But I the idea that somebody has talked you into the fact that you need cameras in the house to keep you safe, don't believe them, because they just want cameras on you so that, like James was just explaining, they know whether, you know, the wife is perhaps running up to Bob's house to the left-hand side.
Yeah, but how true is that? He's just dragging somebody else back and making sure she's not home.
All right, give us a call. Kimberly in Borkham Hills. Kim, what's your story?
Good morning, guys.
Hello.
I actually did mine as a bit of a laugh because I have a roommate that really likes to steal all my snacks. It's just been rampant for the last 3 months or so. So I've actually gone and put a camera in the pantry, and it alerts me whenever he's in there.
Oh, that's great.
And it's actually got a speaker in it, so when I see it, I actually feel, I'm like, oi, get out of it.
That is amazing.
Oh, that's funny.
So I don't have one of these, Kimberly, but does your phone, does it vibrate when someone's, when it picks someone up?
It alerts me. It alerts me when someone's in vicinity of it.
Yeah, eating your
Clever
Tim
idea.
Tams. Does that mean that he's in on it as well?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute.
That would be good, Fitz, because at work, I know, Fitz, you can be pretty heavy on behaviour in the kitchen. Yeah. So if we had one set up here, you could yell at me saying, put it in the dishwasher.
Well, he doesn't clean his dishes.
Doesn't he?
No.
Put it in the bin, put it in the dishwasher.
And he's, you know, the worst one is when the Wheat Bix dries on the bowl.
Oh, it's so hard to get it off.
Like a dishwasher doesn't even get that stuff off.
No, you have to soak that. And you've got to give that a little rinse as soon as you finish the Wheat Bix.
No, not unless there's a camera there and someone to tell me to do it.
I don't think it's just the cleanliness in the kitchen. I think it's the snacks, because I have a little snack shelf. I'm a bit of a feeder because I don't eat the snacks. I just bring them in and I watch other people eat them. And guess what? I've got new snacks this morning. I brought a packet of lollies. Guess if I will give you $10 if you can pick the lolly that I brought in for the team this week as a bit of a joke.
Strawberries and cream. Strawberries and cream.
Oh, this game's not doing well on radio, is it?
What?
Small Coke bottles.
What is the lolly that you bite in half and you play a game about what colour it is on the inside?
You bought some clinkers in because Fitzy suggested stinker or a clinker.
Fits in Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.